for inviting me in this magnificent webinar. Let me start the brief history of agriculture issue of food so that audience can better visualize the gravity of the issue. What do you think when the issue of food started? Is it after COVID-19 or some other natural disasters at the big scale? Or the world war or similar kind of political conflicts? Or from the feudal society or after the human civilization? Indeed, the issue of the food is as ancient as our history of human civilization. Just the definition and dimensions are changing over the time, and we consider it is a contemporary issue. Having said that, Thomas Malthus is the first scholar who appealingly introduced the issue of food in this scholarly field from his famous literature, The Population Theory, where he postulated the population increases in the geometric progression, whereas the food in the arithmetic progression. So it is clearly indicates that at some point of time, we will be unable to grow enough food to feed the human population. Fortunately, the time has not arrived yet. We don't have much time, so I will not go further, although it is an interesting topic to discuss. Then at the global level, the League of Nations, the issue of hungry people were raised. Later, in the World Food Summit, the food security, its definition, its dimensions were introduced to bring all in the same page for understanding and measuring the food insecurity. By the beginning of the 21st century, the echo of nutrition security became more louder than just food security. Finally, the Sustainable Development Goal, the Zero Hunger Challenge, was adopted by the globally in the at the global level in this aspect. However, there is a fundamental difference between the hunger and food insecurity, which we frequently use interchangeably. Hunger is more focused toward the physiological status of the human body, but the food insecurity is more inclined to the psychological aspect of the food, especially in the case of the acute food insecurity. However, the chronic food insecurity closely resembles with the hunger. Nonetheless, underlying causes are quite similar. Broadly speaking, poverty, which is the economic phenomena, and the exclusion, which is a socio-cultural phenomena. They are the basic underlying causes of the either hunger or food insecurity. Now bringing to you all in the COVID-19 crisis, it is still not clear how long will the COVID-19 crisis will persist. But the effect on the SDG 2, that is hunger and the food insecurity, already in the scene. We are seeing the effect now. In the pandemic, in this pandemic, the system of globalization has challenged by the tiny virus. It's very tiny, even we can't see. As a result, we are in the lockdown. Economic activities are halted. The first line victim in such scenario are the poor and daily wage earners. They already lost their earning opportunities and are running out of cash reserve, if any, and they are becoming more vulnerable, not only to hunger, but also to the coronavirus. In my view, the second line victim are marginal and the poor farmers. Due to lockdown, they are unable to sell what they have produced. Consumption demand is also contemporarily contracted and logistic problem is persisting everywhere. Pregnant women, children, and immunocompromised populations are becoming more vulnerable. These all are in current situation, but we may encounter more alarming situation if farmers are not able to catch planting season. seeds, fertilizers, and labors are in short supply. Since the most of the farmers are not able to sell their produce, they may face financial crisis too. More seriously, many youth who are in the foreign jobs may have to come back to home country, which demands more food, but unfortunately, we may encounter with a short supply. It will be worsen if lockdown prolonged and the international trade disrupted. Influx of labor, coupled with contraction of employment opportunities, may create very undesirable situation. So, concluding this remark, in my opinion, I would say the challenge has heightened to end hunger as committed in the SDG. Now we have to create more employment opportunities in agriculture sector to produce more food and to absorb unemployment where the labor productivity is already minimal. But I should not forget to mention our subsistence farming community where the impact of this relatively the impact is relatively smaller to those communities due to the higher level of resilience what they are practicing right now. Thank you very much. I will come back again if there is any queries and other thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was such a comprehensive and overarching way of uh, what current situation is really in Nepal. And you have also highlighted that it's a systemic issue. And you also highlighted people and the section of the population who are mostly impacted. And yes, we will come back to you in session two, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. So we again move back to Arun sir for our very last question. And we are receiving relevant questions in our chat box too. Could you please answer, like, what are future government plans to ensure that youth and returning migrant workers are motivated into agri-entrepreneurship? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for this wonderful question. And I have carefully hearing our key experts' view on the various questions. I would
Mhm.
like to start from the very fundamental questions: why people are not doing agriculture as they used to do in the past? Because it is the job of drudgery and it is the job of less profit. If there is a profit, higher profit, people will be happy to do a drudgery. But unfortunately, due to these two fundamental questions, the youth generation is not attracting to the agriculture. That's why to attract the youth in the agriculture, we have to overcome, we have to solve these two fundamental questions. How how we can solve? We have a solution. Especially, we have to separate these solutions into the two parts for the rural solution and for the urban solution. For the rural solution, I have proposed almost a year before that about the sixth industrialization. It sounds uh, it sounds interesting, and it is uh, basically in the very brief. Sixth industrialization is the convergence of the primary industry, that is agriculture, and the secondary industry, that's the processing, and the tertiary industry, that's service. If we integrate these all industries in a single point, then it will make a new industry that we call sixth industry, and it will generate more profit. It can add value at the local levels. It and the valuation at the local levels would directly benefit the rural livelihood, and it can revitalize the rural landscape. From this viewpoint, we can innovate in the rural landscape. In case of the urban landscape, it is entirely different. When we think about agriculture, we have image of the poor farmers having hoe and some tools and equipments, wearing very dirty dresses, going to the field with mud. That's not only the picture of the agriculture. There is a lot beyond that. So in case of the agriculture, there is a urban agriculture, peri-urban agriculture, and luckily we have at the door of the fourth industrial revolutions that we used to call as agriculture 4.0. There's a fourth version of the agricultural revolutions. In the fourth version of the agricultural revolutions, there are a lot of promising technology like the drone technology, hydroponics, Internet of Things. A lot of things are emerging where youth can enjoy in doing agriculture, integrating the advancement of the technological path. Moreover, I have to mention here the future is smart food. In case of the pandemic, where we are thinking about the hunger and food insecurity, we have to think of the future is smart food. Actually, future is smart food looks like a very fancy word, but indeed it is not. It is the food which has a very higher level of resilience, which has a higher level of nutrition, and it can be found around us. But due to some socioeconomic perspective, basically from the branding point of view, it is not utilized to the level. For example, chino, kagunu, they are very nutritious food. They are resilient to the climate, various climate effect, but we are not consuming. So we need branding, we need processing, and we need innovation in this side. More importantly, for the youth generations, they are more IT lovers. They love to play with ICTs. They love to innovate from the ICT point of view. And there is a point we can attach ICTs and agriculture. Another important things, we have the agroforestry, as already our master sir explained about that. And for the rural landscape, I have to mention the existing government has proposed very fundamental transformative policy departure, which can benefit the small scale marginal farmers, as you asked in the question, especially who are returning from the abroad as a returning migrant. Very firstly, we are providing for the very easy finance, not only for the rural entrepreneurs, but also for the youth, whoever who wants to do in the agriculture, they will be provided with the very easy, convenient, and the cheap finance. It's not free of cost, but very cheap and convenient. Secondly, every crop will be insured through the crop and livestock insurance, whether it's big or small. So the large portion of the risks will be minimized through the insurance. It is also a subsidized package. Another, the government is trying to provide subsidy at the source. That is, if you are trying to grow rice, you will get the subsidized seed, you will get the technical assistance, you will get subsidized irrigations or the electricity or the whatever. And another part is market infrastructure. Now on, government will focus massively in development of the rural market infrastructure, logistic development, storage facilities. So it will establish the market linkage, forward linkage and backward linkage, and it will solve the problem of the post-harvest loss and the waste, as we already discussed before. And finally, it's the very important point is minimum support price. Government has already announced the minimum support price for the rice yesterday. And at the above the minimum support price, farmer can sell their product. If they are not able to sell their product above minimum support price, government has guaranteed to buy these produce at the minimum support price. In these things, I think now the fundamental question I have raised in this opening is the drudgery and the minimum profit. We are trying to solve these fundamental questions, and through these fundamental solutions, I hope all the entrepreneurs can enjoy. They can join in the agriculture innovation system, not the agriculture just a technology transfer. We are talking about agriculture innovation system. You are a part of the agriculture innovation system. There are a lot of the innovation options. We have to collaborate. And that's why, finally, I would like to say that the solution is not a standalone. We have to come together, we have to collaborate, we have to discuss, and we can, of course, we can bring a very convenient and very persuading solution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We will be sharing the summarized version.